Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. There's something that happened to the BNB chain overnight. Now hopefully you guys are already aware it was about a $75 million hack. All is fixed as of this point, so do not worry about it. But as it's pretty significant, we still need to cover it. I'm a little bit late to the party. I think it happened about 20 hours ago or so. But as these things sometimes happen, you want to wait for the full story. You want to know exactly where it went wrong. Will this happen again? Are the funds safe? And since I don't want to spam out a ton of videos creating a lot of FUD, my best approach was to put out a tweet saying, hey, things are looking really bad, but the funds are safe. Wait for the response from Binance and BNB chain people, and then come out with a video explaining kind of in the aftermath what happened. As you can see over on my Twitter, the moment that it was happening, I said, hey, BNB chain has just been halted over some major exploit concerns. A little bit afterwards, CZ himself came out and actually stated an exploit on a cross-chain bridge, BSC token hub, resulted in extra BNB. We have asked all validators to temporarily suspend BSC. And for anybody watching, there's a couple of critical parts that I've already mentioned just now, but let's quickly continue and then I'll summarize. The issue is contained now. Your funds are safe. We apologize for the inconvenience and will provide further updates accordingly. Let's note a couple of different things. One, your funds were not necessarily really at risk. As far as I've heard here, it's mostly about new money coming in. So if you had your coins over on Binance, it doesn't really seem as if they were actually at risk at all. It, however, had to do with a cross-chain bridge for basically letting this BNB travel over different chains, which again resulted in extra BNB because of some exploit, some bug. Now, the centralization concerns, which I've seen like crazy over my own tweets. Whenever I was putting things up, people were saying, hey. For example, when I later on tweeted that BSC was hacked for about 75 million bucks, $7 million were frozen thus far, things are safe. Somebody asked, is it centralized? And it's a very good question, but that in this case is hard to say. It just depends on whether or not you think the Binance Smart Chain is centralized or not, based upon the consensus model that they use. But in reality here, they themselves cannot control everything. They need permission basically, or they need to ask the validators. The only thing is, with the Binance Smart Chain, it's not that many validators and they're big institutions. So it's a lot more feasible than to make this happen on Ethereum, where making a quick, swift decision is pretty difficult because a lot of players might, take time. With bigger institutions and less validators, well, you can easier send out a little ping. And what are the chances of, a couple handfuls of people are going to react quickly? Well, it's pretty high, especially because at this point, all the freaking red alarm bells start ringing, right? Which is why they were able to go and act so quickly. I'm not sure exactly how many minutes was between the actual exploit and the fix. I'm also not sure exactly what's happening right here. DNS probe finished, NX domain. Check if there's a typo, bnbchain.org. I'm not sure exactly where the problem lies. Maybe I cannot update bnbchain.org in UAE. They put up on their Twitter though after like an hour, no, this is actually 12 hours later, I think. To give a little bit of context, BNB Chain said due to irregular activity, we're temporarily pausing the Binance Smart Chain. We apologize for the inconvenience and provide regular updates or further updates from here. Thank you for understanding and thank you for the patience. Of course, people were like, wait a minute, what's going on? But generally speaking, people were, I guess, accepting and happy because it was so quick that they came up with this update and pretty transparent. Not all crypto projects do it this way. To say you had to halt it and say there's irregular activity and all that, it takes some cojones, To confirm, we've suspended the Binance Smart Chain after having determined a potential exploit. All systems are now contained, and we've immediately investigating the potential vulnerability. We know the community will assist and help freeze any transfers. All funds are safe. We want to thank all the node providers for their quick and attentive response. And here are the names, which you can see are big players, all right? You can see BSC Scan, Certic, Trenches, which I didn't know was actually one of them, Anchor, and Coinbase Cloud, just to name a few of the guys that I know, I should say. Name leaks I've heard of and so forth and so on, but you guys understand. They were quick to respond. Good. Then they put up an estimate saying initial estimates for the funds taken off the BNC were about 70 to 80 million. However, thanks to community and our internal and external security partners, estimated $7 million has actually already been frozen, which the number will most likely increase because Binance's team is really on top of that. We're humbled by the speed and collaboration with the community to freeze funds. Thank you for everyone who helped and gave their support. Then a little bit later, they said, hey, BSC validators are coordinating to bring back BNB Smart Chain in an hour with the latest release. It includes stopping hacker accounts from acting, which is, that's actually very smart. And native cross-chain communication between BNB Beacon Chain and BNB Smart Chain is disabled as of this point, just to make sure they can fix things and do things properly. Then they gave a little update that the Binance Smart Chain was doing pretty good from, I should say BNB Smart Chain nowadays, right? Which is difficult for me to transfer over to. Used to be called the Binance Smart Chain. The validators are confirming their status and the community infrastructure are upgrading as well. And then we got ourselves the official BNB Chain response, which for some reason I cannot open and cannot see. Okay, took a little bit of hard work and effort, but we're able to see it. For anybody wondering, this is what the website looked like. BNB Chain ecosystem update, and they're explaining the majority of these parts. Want to apologize for the exploit. They're explaining to you how many active validators they have, 26, 44 in total in different time zones. The next couple of votes that are going to happen. What to do with the hacked funds, freeze or no, or not to freeze. Whether to use BNB auto burn to cover the remaining hacked funds or not. A white hat program for future bugs found, $1 million for each significant bug found, a bounty program for catching hackers, up to 10% of the recovered funds, which I personally think is the right way to go about it. 10% is a good finder's fee. I actually was a big advocate of this, and I say that in nearly every single video. I think 10% of the funds hacked should be the standard rate, because otherwise they're not really inclined to give you the money back. And so many developers came up to me and said, well, white hat hacking should be done for the betterness of the project, yada, yada, yada. A lot of these guys are black hat hackers that sometimes might just be overwhelmed by the amount of money that they've gotten. Whereas if you give them 10% of the total, let's say it's 180 million, they get $18 million, they might actually be inclined to just rather give up 180 million for $18 million in legal funds, you know? Now they're also acknowledging here that cross-chain bridges have been really kind of messed up over the last couple of weeks here. It's been a target of attacks significantly here. They also say they will post all the lessons that they learned from this. And there were a couple of questions over on Twitter regarding whether or not this could happen to other chains. And David Schwartz is basically explaining as well that he doesn't really see an exploit of this nature actually ever happening again. And that's probably because the way in which Binance does their business, I think they're going to make sure that everybody knows from now forward exactly where it went wrong and how to protect it. And, you know, you can't really fall for the same mistake twice, right? Then the blame is on you. At the end of the day, you know, it's a very big deal. It's very bad. But it really wasn't their own mistake, nor can I really blame them. A total of 2 million BNB was withdrawn. Exploit was through a sophisticated forging of the low-level proof into one common library. There was an exploit affecting the native cross-chain bridge between BNB Beacon Chain, which is BAP2, and, of course, the Binance Smart Chain, and that is called the BSC Hub, or Token Hub. What now? Well, they have to vote on things, so we'll hear it shortly. Most likely, right now, they got themselves an upgrade going, right? An update. There'll be another update pretty soon. There'll be a couple of votes on the issues which we just mentioned, and there'll be a couple of bigger posts about the lessons which they've learned. But yeah, whatever, guys. That was it for today's video, though. That was it for today's video. As I said, I can see myself in the mirror right here, which is, it's kind of funny. Kind of goofy. But yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today. See you guys.